If you've ever followed someone at night, you need to hear this story. If you ever wake up in the middle of the night and the space beside you is empty, don't move. Don't call out. And please, please, do not go looking. Chisom did not listen to that warning. She followed her twin sister deep into the dark woods at midnight. But what she saw in that forest changed everything. The village of Uguma was the kind of place where everybody knew everybody's business. The ground was red, the trees were tall and full, the houses were made of strong clay and dry leaves. It was a simple place, a good place. Mama Adaku lived in that village, a strong woman, a woman who woke up before the sun and slept after everybody else. She had 2 daughters, twins, but if you saw them standing together, you would never believe they came from the same womb. The first daughter was Ifeoma. Ifeoma. When that girl walked into the market, everything stopped. Traders forgot what they were selling, old men forgot what they were saying, young boys forgot their own names. She had the kind of face that made people want to give her things for free. Sweet fruits, fine cloth, cold water. And they did, every single time. People in Uguma used to say, "That girl will marry a king one day. You wait and see." Then there was Chisom. Chisom was the younger one, quiet, plain, no loud laugh, no bright eyes that pulled people in. When she walked through that same market, nobody stopped, nobody looked up. She passed through like a soft breeze, felt for a second, then forgotten. But Chisom had a good heart, a very good heart. She swept the compound every morning, she fetched water from the well without being asked, she helped Mama Adaku with the cooking even when her body was tired. She did not complain, she just did what needed to be done. And still, her own sister acted like she was not there. Now, Ifeoma was beautiful, yes, but inside that beauty there was a deep hunger. She always wanted more. More beads, more wrappers, more praise. It was like a hole inside her that nothing could fill. Chisom watched her sister and felt sad. Not jealous, sad, because she could see something Ifeoma could not see about herself. One evening, the cooking fires went cold. The village went quiet. Mama Adaku was sleeping. Chisom was lying on her mat, eyes half closed. Then she heard it. A soft sound. The wooden door creaking open. Chisom opened one eye slowly. Ifeoma was standing at the door. She had wrapped a dark cloth around her head. She looked left, she looked right, then she slipped out into the night like a shadow. Chisom sat up. Why? She thought. Where is this girl going at this time of the night? Good people in Uguma did not walk outside when the moon was hiding. Everyone knew that. The elders said it with their chests. But here was Ifeoma, walking out into the cold dark like she had somewhere important to be. Chisom lay back down, but her heart was not resting. It was beating loud, loud, loud inside her chest. After a long time, the door opened again. Ifeoma came back inside. She smiled to herself in the dark, a small, secret smile, and went straight to sleep. Chisom stared at the ceiling. Something is wrong. Morning came. Chisom was outside sweeping when Ifeoma walked out of the house. Chisom's broom stopped. Ifeoma's skin was glowing, and around her neck was a red bead, deep red, catching the morning sun like fire. Mama Adaku came out and gasped, "Ifeoma, my daughter, where did you get that bead? It is so fine." Ifeoma smiled her proud smile. "A kind trader gave it to me at the market yesterday, Mama." Chisom stood very still. Yesterday. She had been with Ifeoma at the market the whole day, from morning till the sun went down. No trader gave her anything. Nobody even stopped them. Chisom walked slowly to her sister. She dropped her voice so Mama Adaku would not hear. "Ifeoma," she said quietly, "I heard you leave last night. I heard the door. Where did you go?" Ifeoma looked at her. and the warmth in her face, whatever small warmth was left, disappeared. "You are jealous," she said. Her voice was cold and flat. "Nobody gives you fine things, so now you are watching me and making up stories in your head. I did not go anywhere. You were dreaming." The words landed like a slap. Chisom did not say anything back. She just turned and went back to her sweeping. But inside, her chest was tight. She was not jealous. She was scared because she knew what she heard. The cold air from that open door was real. Her sister's late night walk was real. And that bead around Ifeoma's neck, something about it did not sit right. That day, Chisom watched Ifeoma from the corner of her eye. Ifeoma sat under a shade tree the whole day, did no work, just touched her bead and smiled at anyone who praised her. And people praised her. Oh, they praised her well. She loved every word. But Chisom noticed something that made her stomach drop. When Ifeoma stood in the direct sunlight, her shadow on the ground looked thin, faded, like something had eaten part of it away. A shadow should be bold and dark. Ifeoma's looked like it was slowly disappearing. Chisom felt a deep, cold fear settle in her bones. She made a quiet promise to herself right there under the hot Ogu sun. If Ifeoma goes out again tonight, I will follow her. That night, Chisom did not sleep. She lay on her mat with her eyes closed and her ears wide open. She breathed slowly, in, out, like someone deep in sleep, and she waited. Then, the soft sound, Ifeoma sitting up, the dark cloth going over her head, the quiet footsteps across the clay floor, the door opening, gone. Chisom counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She stood up. No shoes. Shoes make noise on the path. She picked up nothing. She just walked out into the cold night on bare feet. She could see Ifeoma ahead, moving fast toward the edge of the village, toward the wild trees. Chisom's had almost stopped. The wild trees. Nobody went there at night, not even the brave men in the village. The elders said those trees held old, dark things, things that did not belong to the world of the living. But Ifeoma walked straight into them without slowing down even once. Chisom followed. Under those trees, the world changed. The ground was soft and wet, big roots everywhere, ready to catch your feet. The dark was thick, not the normal kind of dark, but a heavy, pressing dark that made you feel small. The only light came from tiny stars peeking through the leaves above. Chisom was shaking, but she kept her eyes on her sister's dark shape moving ahead, deep, deeper, deeper into the woods, until the village sounds were completely gone. No dogs, no wind through the houses, nothing. Then Chisom saw it, a light, not moonlight, not firelight, a sick green glow coming from an open space in the middle of the woods. She hid behind a big tree and looked out. What she saw made her hands grip that tree so hard her fingers hurt. 3 figures stood in the middle of that glowing space, tall, too tall. Their skin was the color of old bone, pale, dry, wrong. Their clothes were woven from green leaves and silver thread, and when they moved, they did not touch the ground. They floated just slightly above the grass, like gravity forgot about them. Ifeoma walked right up to them, no fear, wide smile. The tall one stepped forward. He held out his shiny wrapper, silk, the kind that catches light like water in the sun. "For you, beautiful one," he said. His voice did not sound like a human voice. It sounded like dry leaves scraping fast across hard ground. "You want to be the most beautiful in the whole world? We are giving you this." Ifeoma's eyes were wide. She reached out and took it. "What do I give you today?" she asked. The tall one smiled, cold, hungry. "Just a small piece," he said softly. just a small piece of your heart's warmth. He reached out and touched her chest gently. A small bright light came out of Ifeoma's body, right out of her chest. It floated into his closed hand like smoke. For 1 second, Ifeoma looked old, weak, tired, like the life had been pulled out of her. Then she looked down at the shiny wrapper and smiled again. She didn't even notice what she had lost. Chisom pressed both hands hard over her mouth. She wanted to scream, she wanted to run out there, but her legs were frozen. These were the people from the old stories, the ones Mama Adaku used to whisper about when the fire was low. They gave you beautiful things, but with every gift, they took a piece of your goodness, your warmth, the light that made you you. If Ifeoma kept trading like this, there would be nothing left of her. Then the tall one spoke again. Tomorrow night, we will bring you the golden crown, the most beautiful thing that has ever existed. Kings will kneel when they see it on your head. Ifeoma's breath caught. Yes, she said quickly, I want it. I will come back. But for the golden crown, he said slowly, we will take all of your shadow, everything that is left of your human soul. You will be beautiful forever, but you will belong to us. Ifeoma agreed. Just like that. No thinking, no pause, no hesitation. She turned around and walked back toward the village, hugging the wrapper to her chest. Chisom waited until the pale figures melted into the dark. Then she ran, bare feet, cold ground, roots scratching her skin. She ran all the way home and jumped onto her mat just before the door opened. She lay there in the dark, tears running down her face into her hands. I have to stop her. But how? Morning came. Ifeoma put on the silk wrapper and walked outside. The whole village gathered around her. They were amazed. She looked like a queen. She looked like money. She looked like everything. But when a small child ran into her leg by accident, Ifeoma shoved the child away hard and said something ugly and mean. Mama Adaku saw it. Her face fell. Ifeoma, why are you acting like this? Ifeoma lifted her chin. I am too fine to be touched by dirty hands. Mama Adaku looked confused, hurt. Chisom pulled her mother quietly to the back of the house. Mama, she said, her voice shaking. Those things Ifeoma is wearing are not from any trader. She goes into the dark woods at night. She meets people there, strange, pale people. They give her fine things, but they are taking her goodness. Her shadow is already fading, Mama. I saw it with my own eyes. Mama Adaku looked at her for a long time. Then she shook her head. Chisom, stop this. You are letting jealousy put bad words in your mouth. Your sister is just growing up. Those woods are empty. Nobody goes there. She held Chisom's face in her hands. Do not speak of this again. Chisom closed her eyes. Her own mother did not believe her. She was alone. She found Ifeoma under a tree in the afternoon, stroking her beads and her wrapper like they were the most precious things in the world. Ifeoma, Chisom stood in front of her. Please, do not go back tonight. I followed you. I saw them. I saw what they took from you. Tonight, they want to take everything, your whole shadow, your whole soul. Please. Ifeoma looked up slowly. You followed me? Her voice was quiet, dangerous. Then she stood up and her face twisted. You are a jealous, sneaky rat. They don't want to give you anything because you have nothing worth taking. You are plain, you are boring, you are nothing. Ifeoma, I am begging you. If you try to stop me tonight, Ifeoma said, cutting her off, I will tell the whole village you are going mad. Now get away from me. She walked away. Chisom stood there alone, wiping her face with the back of her hand.
talking would not work. She needed something else. She went inside and stood in the corner where Mama Adaku kept the cooking things. Her eyes found the small woven bag of white salt, and she remembered. When Chisom was very small, her grandmother used to sit with her by the fire and tell old stories in a low voice. One story said that pure salt from the ground, mixed with clean spring water, could wash away any dark magic, any at all. Chisom did not know if it was true, but tonight she had nothing else. She moved fast. She found a small round wooden bowl. She poured white salt in. She ran to the village well, the deepest, coldest well in all of Ugu, and pulled up fresh water. She mixed the salt into the water with her fingers until it disappeared. She prayed with everything inside her that her grandmother was right.
Night fell. The sky turned black. The village went quiet. Chisom lay on her mat, bowl of salt water hidden carefully underneath. She waited. Her hands would not stop shaking. She held them together and breathed. Steady, stay steady. Then the familiar sound, Ifeoma rising. The dark cloth, the quiet steps, the door. Gone. Chisom counted to 10. Then she picked up the bowl, slowly, carefully, so not a drop would spill, and walked out into the night. The dark woods were worse tonight. The wind made crying sounds in the leaves, like voices, like warnings. Go back, Chisom, go back. But she thought of her sister. She thought of the two of them as little girls chasing each other in the warm sun, laughing until their stomachs hurt. She thought of the real Ifeoma, the one before all of this. She kept walking until she saw the green glow ahead. She hid behind the same big tree. The three pale figures were waiting. The tall one was holding something that hurt to look at directly, a crown of pure gold, glowing and turning slowly in the air like it was alive. Ifeoma stood before them, her whole body leaning forward with hunger. "Give it to me," she said. Her voice had changed. There was nothing soft left in it. "I am ready." "Give us the rest of your shadow," the tall one said. "Give us your human soul to keep forever." He reached out his long bony hand toward her face. Ifeoma closed her eyes and tilted her head back, and Chisom looked down at the ground. She saw it. Ifeoma's shadow, what little was left of it, was pulling away from her feet, slowly sliding across the grass toward the pale figure's feet, like water running downhill. Now, now, now! Chisom jumped out from behind the tree. "Stop!" she screamed. "Leave my sister alone!" Everything happened at once. Ifeoma's eyes flew open. The pale figures spun toward Chisom, their faces sharp and terrible. They hissed, a long, cold sound like air escaping from something dead. "Go away, little girl," the tall one said. "She chose this herself." Chisom did not answer him. She ran straight through the middle of them. They grabbed for her arms, but she was small and fast, and she twisted away. She lifted the wooden bowl above her head with both hands, and she threw the salt water over all of them. The sound that came out of those pale figures, hey, it was not a normal scream. It was something between a scream and a wind, sharp, tearing, terrible. The water burned them like fire on dry paper. They twisted and clawed at the air. The tall one dropped the golden crown. The moment it hit the ground, it turned to dry brown leaves. The silk wrapper on Ifeoma's body turned to grey dust and fell away. The red bead around her neck shattered into small black stones. The green light went out like a candle pinched between two fingers. The pale figures folded into the shadows, screaming until the sound faded, and there was nothing left but the quiet dark woods and the sound of two girls breathing hard. Ifeoma fell to her knees on the wet ground. She was shaking, crying, real crying, the kind that comes from deep, deep inside. Her shadow rushed back across the grass and settled under her feet where it belonged. Chisom dropped beside her and grabbed her tight. "Ifeoma, Ifeoma," she cracked. Her voice sounded like herself again, warm, human.
"Ifeoma, I am so sorry," she wailed. "I was so foolish. I was so greedy. I could have lost everything." "Shh," Chisom said. She held her sister's head against her chest. "You are here. You are okay. I have you." They sat together in the dark for a long time, just two sisters, holding each other. When they finally walked home, the sky was beginning to lighten at the edges. Pink, soft yellow, the kind of morning that feels like a second chance. Ifeoma had nothing on her. No bead, no wrapper, no crown. She looked like a plain village girl. But when she looked at Chisom, she smiled, the most real smile Chisom had ever seen on her face. From that morning, everything changed. Ifeoma stopped chasing beauty. She stopped needing the village to praise her. She just lived. She laughed, she helped, she loved. And Chisom was never invisible again, because Ifeoma made sure every single day that everyone in Ugu knew exactly who her sister was. The brave one, the one who came into the dark, the one who brought her home. This story tells us one thing: real beauty is not something you wear, it is something you do. And family is the only treasure worth risking everything for. Have you ever done something scary for someone you love? Drop it in the comments. And if this story touched your heart, like, share, and subscribe to African Folktales by Ray. Hit that bell because our next story is coming, and trust me, you do not want to miss it.